WWE had a ton of success with their Survivor Series program. We've covered Survivor Series to death to the point where you tapped out on it as a topic last month. And
Enough's
this
enough. How much goddamn barbecue sauce can a fat guy eat, for God's sakes? Jesus. Well, we're going to talk about Survivor Series 1. And then guess what's the next week? Survivor Series 2.
I love you
Oh,
for that.
stop my pain.
Well, we tried to hit the anniversaries. I thought we did a good job with that, but man, none bigger than this past weekend. I saw the sponsorship was up, 20 something percent from the prior year. And that was evident if you were watching the show. And it was a well reviewed show. And we saw a big return with R-Truth, an even bigger return with Randy Orton. And then the big surprise that they managed to keep a secret somehow, some way. CM Punk, after nearly 10 years away, is back in WWE. I don't think a lot of people thought they would see it, but I guess if we've learned anything in wrestling, it's never say never, right, Jim?
Yeah, it was a perfect booking decision. It was a great creative move. And Your Honor, I put my evidence is the fact that can you hear? Can
The
you
pop was
see?
huge. Yeah.
Because it was sustained chaos. And for the wrestling fan, hey, look, I guarantee you there's a lot of AEW fans that went to Survivor Series. They're wrestling fans. They don't have this brand bullshit where I'm only going to support one brand. So you must not really be a wrestling fan then, right? How could you be a wrestling fan and not be happy for the success of others within your industry?
Right.
I don't get it. So anyway, it was great booking, good judgment by Paul Levesque. It was a perfect end to the show. For all I got to say about the whole damn thing is I didn't see it live. Admittedly, I was probably napping or watching football or something. But I think that for Phil's a friend, and I don't know, didn't always agree with him, and I certainly agreed with him more than not on some of his issues. But I don't know, man. He's just a friend. I'm happy for my friends that find success in their chosen vocation. So, and I wish him the best of luck on his journey. I mean, hell, I don't have a, I don't agree with all the shit that went on with him. I think he could have handled it a little differently. Uh, as it probably everybody could if you go back and look at it in hindsight. But bottom line is he left, and he was a great get, timely. I love the surprise. Uh, I just saw my timeline blow up, and I had to go look. And of course, it was all over social media, and it was cool. And the announcers laid out. I thought that was smart, timely.
How about the false finish of the little the signature at the end? They do the little copyright notice and all that, like they're going off the air.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were watching live, you felt like that's the end of the show, and then bam, the music hits. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was a Triple H call. Not even everybody in the production truck knew it was happening, if you believe what you read online. I do want to just tag on to something you said a minute ago when you were talking about his decisions and leaving and all that. JR was referencing when he left the WWE the first time. We're not talking about anything that happened anywhere else. The story is, hey man, this dude's been gone from WWE for 10
Yeah.
years. So
He should have been gone 10 years, but be that as it may, it happened.
yes.
And you know, I, I always enjoyed. Phil's a very good conversationalist. He's very opinionated, and he's very polarizing. But he's a captivating conversationalist. I'll say that for him. So just as friend to friend, and look, we don't exchange Christmas cards. I don't talk to Phil or text Phil every week or nothing like that. Rarely. He checks on me, my health, which I appreciate. You'd be surprised at all your lifelong friends that ain't said one word when they know you're sick as hell.
That sucks.
Yeah. society. I ain't mad at nobody. It's society. So anyway, good for Phil. Good for Phil and good for wrestling. Hope it works out good for everybody. And what's that saying, Conrad? Large tides raise all ships, or something along those lines.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, that's the gist of the deal. I think what's good for WWE is good for the wrestling business. What's good for AEW is good for the wrestling business.
Amen.
What's good for Impact is good for the wrestling business. And this feels like this is going to be a net positive for WWE. And you obviously worked closely once upon a time with Mr. Brooks, and I know you're pulling for his success, as you are everybody's success.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Look, Conrad, I'm 71.
Right.
Next year will be 50 years in the business. I've learned a few things. We've had some success, but you never wish ill or boo-boo face for somebody else's success. It's not good karma. It's not logical. You're fretting about things you can't control. And as I got older, one of the best lessons I taught myself, because I was in this position, is don't worry about things you can't affect.
Right.
And I did that for years and decades, because there was a problem every day. Talent relations was it was just a clearinghouse, and it was challenging. So, and it sounds like, Triple H has got that under control, and like I said, good for wrestling, And if the more success as we find in the business, it's going to help everybody.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what adfreeshows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that adfreeshows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. adfreeshows.com.